So we're going to jump right into our last Bible study of the week. So today we are going to focus on our actions towards others. We have learned a lot about God's love this week, and we are going to go over some scenarios, that means some examples, and decide if they are showing God's love or not showing God's love, okay? As we are going over these scenarios, I'm going to have two different apples. These are my two apples. One has no sticker. One has a sticker. Okay? These apples are going to represent people in our lives. If we think the scenario is showing God's love, we are going to give apple A with no sticker a nice touch or a hug or a kiss. If the scenario is not showing God's love, we are going to do something unkind to the other apple. Like hit it against the table or drop it or something like that. As humans, when someone shows God's love, it makes us feel nice. But if someone is not showing God's love, it will kind of hurt our feelings. So we're going to be nice to apple A, and we're going to kind of hurt apple B's feelings a little bit. Okay? And we'll see what happens. All right, so we're going to go over examples. If we were in person together, I would have you guys act out these examples and come up with extra examples on your own, but we're going to make the best of it with this video, okay? So example number 1, it says, you are playing with your favorite basketball, and your neighbor comes over and kicks the ball away from you. The ball rolls down the street into someone else's ditch. Your parents have told you that you can't leave your yard or driveway without one of them. So your ball is gone until you can get a parent to help. Was your friend showing God's love or not? Right, I would say not. Therefore, we are not going to show God's love to apple B. Okay? Apple B, the one with the sticker, we're not going to show God's love. We are going to either drop it or hit it against the table. So for right now, I'm just going to hit it against the table, okay? So I'm going to hit it, okay? Bonked it against the table, okay? All right, it was not nice of that friend to kick that ball while you were playing with it, intentionally making it go somewhere else. Okay, scenario number 2. You get home from a long day at school and your little sister is playing with your very favorite toy. You really want to play with that toy. You politely ask your sister if you can have a turn with the toy, and she says, yes, of course. Was your sister showing God's love or not? Yes, she was showing God's love. So we are going to show God's love to apple A. So we're going to be kind to apple A and say, yes, you can play with my toy. I'm going to give it a nice touch or a kiss. Okay? Super nice to apple A because your sister was so nice to you and showed God's love with those cotton ball words. Okay, scenario number 3. You are playing a game in your room and being really loud. Your mom has had a very long day and she is really tired. She walks by your bedroom and yells at you to be quiet. Was she showing God's love? No, she wasn't. She was not showing God's love. Even when adults are tired, we need to show patience and understanding to show God's love. Okay? There are many days that I'm so tired and I just want to say, Carson! But I have to take a deep breath and I have to be patient and be kind and say, Carson, can you please stop doing that? Okay, so we have to be patient to show God's love, even when you're frustrated with your friends. Don't yell at your friends about your toys or about a decision that they made in a game. Take a deep breath, be calm, and be patient, and be kind. Okay, so now that we decided, since this mom in this scenario walked by and yelled, be quiet, she was not showing God's love at the time, which everyone makes mistakes, but we are not going to show love to apple B. We're going to drop it or hit it. Okay, so I'm going to hit it again. Okay. Now we're going to keep going. Scenario 4. You don't like someone's artwork at school, so you scribble on it because you think it's funny to scribble on someone else's work. Were you showing God's love? No, that person worked hard on their work, and you should not ruin it, no matter what you think of it. So now we are not going to show God's love to apple B. Okay? Now, scenario number 5. It says, a friend at school has to run back out to the playground in the rain to get his jacket that he left at recess. He does not have an umbrella. Before he runs out the door, you stop him and you let him borrow your umbrella. Were you showing God's love? Yes. Let's show God's love to apple A. Say, mwah! You're so nice and kind and showing God's love. Okay. If you're doing this at home on your own with your apples, if you want to come up with a couple more scenarios right now, you can do that on your own, and you can either show God's love to the same apple A and not show God's love to the same apple B. Your choice, okay? So now if we look on the outside of these apples, okay, I'm going to hope this turned out right. If we look on the outside of these apples, okay, these apples are both red. Okay, got little spots of little lighter colors. And they look like their skin is shiny and nice, right? Okay, they still look like nice, shiny apples. I'm going to be real honest, and I see a little crack in apple B right here. So maybe just a little scratch, but not much difference, right? Okay. Now, with the help of an adult, if you are using apples at home, with the help of an adult, we are going to cut the apples down the middle, okay? And I want us to see if we see any differences on the inside, okay? So, I should probably have the help of an older adult to do this knife thing, but that's okay. I'm trying my best. Okay, I cut apple A, and now I cut apple B. Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. So I want to show you apple A. So if you open up apple A, I'm going to prove to you. This is the one without the sticker, no sticker, apple A. Okay. You open it up and it still looks really nice on the inside, right? You can't see anything that looks like this apple has been hurting, because this apple hurting. That's not a word, guys. You cannot see anything on the inside that looks like that it has hurt this apple, because this apple was shown lots of God's love. It got kisses. It got nice touches. Lots of God's love. So I'm going to put that one together, put it to the side. Now we're going to look at apple B. Okay. Remember the one with the sticker right here? All we saw was just a little scrape, but other than that, apple B looked 100% fine. When we open this up, look on the inside of this apple. Is it nice and pretty anymore? No, it's not. Look how much damage is done on the inside of this apple. Do you see the damage right here on the inside of this apple and the damage on the inside of this apple? The seeds, I just cut a little deeper. That's why those are there. Apple A had seeds as well. I just didn't cut as deep. But look at all of this damage done to this apple. It is not a nice and pretty apple anymore on the inside. Okay? If people around you are showing God's love, you are going to feel great on the inside like apple A. You're going to look great on the inside. Okay? If people are showing you God's love, you're going to feel like $1,000,000. You're going to love it. You're going to just feel so nice and appreciated. But if people are not showing God's love, then you are going to feel pretty yucky on the inside like apple B. Okay? Apple B looks yucky, and that's how we're going to feel on the inside. Okay, even though you might not see it on the outside of this apple or on the outside of someone, you cannot tell what they feel like on the inside. Okay, the same goes for our actions. If we are going to show God's love, we will make people feel nice, like apple A. But if we are not showing God's love, we will make people feel yucky on the inside. And do you want to make anybody feel like this on the inside? I sure don't. I do not want to make anyone feel this yucky on the inside. I want to make people feel nice and shiny and pretty on the inside. So guys, I want you to think about your actions when you are around someone. You don't know if someone else has made them feel this way. So if you make them feel this way even more, it could even do more damage, and that would take another hit to the apple and it would look even yuckier on the inside. Remember, our apple still looked great on the outside. You cannot always tell what someone's going through on the outside. So we want to, as Christians, we want to make sure that we are showing God's love all the time, okay? Just so we can make somebody feel like apple A. All right, let's look at some scripture from the Bible. In 1 Corinthians chapter 16, verse 14, it says, "Let all that you do be done in love." Such a simple verse, but so meaningful. Let all that you do be done in love. And that is talking about God's love. All right, so guys, whether you're picking up your toys at your house, whether you're playing with your neighbor in the front yard, or if you are playing with a brother or sister, or if you're helping mom and dad out, let all that you do be done in love. So look at your actions. If it's not being done in love, if you're frustrated, if you're angry, take a deep breath and say, I need to show God's love. Okay? Show God's love to everyone around you. Make them feel like apple A. And guys, this has been an awesome week with you. I have loved getting to do just a little bit of Piece of Camp through this virtual computer stuff. But I hope you have a happy rest of the summer. Remember, while you're in this crazy world, to show God's love. It will make such a difference, guys. Love you all, and I'll see you next year.